Hey, y'all. That was really loud. Okay. I can't.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, guys. My name is Tiffany Marie. I am your sexual health coach. I am live with Miss J. This is your guys' new favorite mental health coach. Welcome to DND, or I should say Desire and the Diagnose podcast, where we do everything live, unedited, and raw. All right. So you guys met us last week. And last week we kind of just introduced ourselves, said who we were, what was kind of going on with our podcast. Why are we doing a podcast? Right. And so you guys so far have been loving it. Social media has been taken off with you guys watching our short little clips and loving the fact that what we're talking about clits. I said clit.
I was gonna say something, but
So today we decided to come back with a different topic. We want to actually talk about what are
dun
we talking?
dun dun. The big ED.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about erectile dysfunction. We figured this was a great first topic because this is kind of one of the issues that I would say a lot of men are experiencing. It's actually very common, and a lot of women have been experiencing it too, and nobody really talks about it. It's kind of like a hush hush thing, but yet you'll tell your girlfriends, or the guys won't tell anybody. They keep it to themselves. I don't know a lot of men that kind of tell other men like, "Hey, my dick can't get it up." Have you?
Uh-uh. I
Uh-uh.
mean, it's embarrassing, and I think that if they did open up with each other a little bit more, they'd
Mhm.
probably feel a little bit better.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we did some good things. We took notes. We have our notes, so we keep us in order. Okay. We don't want to start spiraling
We will
off.
totally spiral if we don't,
Oh yeah,
so it's not that we're cheating.
we're
Tiff, why
cheating.
don't you start us off with what ED is?
All right. So ED is erectile dysfunction. Short version is ED is what you will hear people talk about. So with ED, sorry, I'm moving my water bottle. ED is very common. About 30 to 50 million men in America actually face this challenging every single day from ED. So, what is ED? ED is classified as not being able to get a full erection or holding the erection, meaning that you get it up, but it doesn't last. And that is
Ooh.
completely normal. Okay. So that's what ED stands for is the two different variations. Either you get it up and it goes back down, or you're circle jerking it 500 times and it's just like, it's nothing. You have a limp noodle. It's just like flopping. Okay.
Mm.
As you get older, from the age of 40, your chances of ED actually rises to 40%. When you hit 70, it's 70% of erectile dysfunction is what you could be having. All right. So
Could
what, huh?
I
Say it.
said could be, unless you're like Hugh Hefner or something, I don't know.
Could be. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So we're going to kind of go back and forth so you guys can get a little bit of an understanding from our mental health and then also from your sexual health, right? So with ED, there are things that causes it. And so this is something I think her and I have like chit chatted about. What are things that would cause ED? And both of us have done a lot of research. So first and foremost, we've done the research on ED. We use only credible sources and only credible references. When we do our research, we're not looking up Google MD. Okay. MD.com is not a real credible source. Please don't use that. Speaking as a healthcare professional, please don't bring that shit in and be like, well, MD said I have asthma. MD smokes crack. Okay. No. So let's talk about ED and what are some of the things that affect it that could make you have ED. So diabetes is a huge one. Diabetes will actually affect it. Heart disease, any kind of heart disease,
Big one.
CHFs, yep, bad. Okay. Weight, your weight, gaining weight will actually can make an issue. Even losing weight too fast can cause it as well. Increasing your blood pressure goes right back to the heart issues. Antidepressants. So if you're taking any kind of medications for that depressant, this will cause that as well. Anxiety, stress, smoking cigarettes, and alcohol are all the main factors when it comes to ED.
Mm.
So, Jay, how does this affect mental health for men and for women?
So, more importantly for men, it can make them feel, like, very guilty, shameful, which
Mhm.
can also lead to anger, and that's
Mhm.
not helping anything either. Um, it's associated a lot with anxiety and depression, and then because of all that, their, like, satisfactory towards life is super
Mhm.
low. So, women kind of experience the same thing. If you're with a partner, they're gonna internalize it massively, and so they're gonna feel let down,
Mhm.
they're gonna feel depression as well, and they're gonna feel self-doubt and insecurity because us women, as we kinda mentioned in the last one, like,
Mhm.
we'll immediately start to internalize it and be like, "He's not attracted to me anymore," or
Mhm.
"I, don't have that flat tummy that I used to," or something like that. So, I think that it just plays such a big role in how, you function day to day because let's face it, like, all of those, um feelings down there and
Yeah.
the satisfaction and the
Mhm.
explosions that we get to feel, it offers a sense of relief.
Right.
So if you're not feeling that kind of relief, you're going to have all these emotions that you don't know what to do with. And a lot of men, like we said earlier, like they don't want to talk about it because it's embarrassing to them, which and then there's probably women out there who aren't very nice who might have added to that in a men's complex. Like, so if a man was married before and the ex-wife was very hateful about the problem, right? And the guy didn't want to do anything about it because he's shameful about it. And then they get a divorce and then she goes and tells
Mhm.
everybody that he can't get it up. And then
Mhm.
he takes all of that into the next relationship and he doesn't want to talk about it.
Right.
So, and it's gonna ruin every relationship that he has. So that's, like, pretty much where it affects the mental health.
And there was, when we did that clip, we posted a clip on, so if you guys aren't following our social medias, you definitely need to, because we post like fast little, little snippets from our episodes. Our goal is to try to do an hour of a podcast at least once a week. And so we take little clips and we'll put them on there as just funny things or like quick sayings. But one of the posts that we put on there on social media was a woman had responded and was like, I thought it was me. Every time my partner got ED, I thought it was me. I thought I wasn't turning him on. And I think I would say the first foremost would probably be the woman automatically. If you're with your partner, right? If you have a female partner and that's like the first thing she's going to go to, like, do I not turn him on? Am I not pretty enough? Cause I would say that as women in a society now, even when we were younger too, we've always been told that we have to look a certain way, we should be like a size 2 with, small boobs and a big butt or, and it constantly is changing. And so women are constantly changing their, I would say, appearances. I mean, how many times have we changed our appearance,
Yeah.
right? Every time I go through a breakup, I cut my hair off. I've only done it like 3 times. I promise you. I'm not doing that no more.
Oh, I
But
think
you
my
see the
husband was like, "Why do you keep getting all this aging stuff?" Because 'Cause I've got, like, the red light therapy thing, and I got, like, retina cream for my neck. I'm like, "'Cause I don't wanna
Yeah.
get old."
Yeah, because think about it, when we're in those positions, like, our fat neck comes up, and you know
Yeah.
how unsexy it is where it's like, "Yeah, just you're gonna get this." Like, it's just it don't look sexy sometimes. And you
Yeah.
tried like, you don't wanna
How do I
mentally
look
think
over?
about yeah,
Yeah.
the whole, like, when you're doing this and the like, it don't look right.
Mm,
So, I've seen a lot of women that have really made that, like, they internalize it into them, right? Then they internalize it into, "Am I loose? Is it because he"
right, that last time.
Yeah, remember, because he's not he can't it
Yeah, so,
goes
like,
in
going
and he goes
limp
down.
because yeah, he's going in and it's going down, so there must be something wrong
Right.
with area, yeah.
And then I think with you, I think it's the same thing with, like, mental when you're saying, like, it affects both, and I think it really hits mental first on both people.
Mhm.
I
Well,
would say it
and
hits
for
both.
men too, like, they're so nervous about let's
Mhm.
say they take a Viagra, right, and they think that they're doing everything right, um, they could be in the middle of it, and they're
Yeah.
shooting to score, and then all of a sudden, and, like, in their mind, they're like, "Don't go down, don't," and they're trying everything. So it's like a mind game for them
Uh-huh.
when that sinks in, like, they're trying not to think about it, but how do you not think about it? And then it immediately goes down because they're overthinking.
Uh-huh.
So it's super, connected
It
to
is.
physical and mental of, like, you just gotta get out of your way.
I also think it's
Especially
crazy because I think it's crazy because how many times do men have to think about not ejaculating too fast? And then they have to think about, "Please don't go soft." So
Yeah.
now you like, think about it. Like, you poor men, to an extent, right? You start off in your sexual career. I call it a career because you never know how many wins. Anywho, but you start off in your career, right? Of this exploring your sexuality, and you're like, doing this, or you're in it and you're like, please don't come fast, don't come fast. I need to last. I need to last. And then as you get older, you're like, shit, it's not hard. Stay hard, stay hard, stay. Like, I don't care if I don't ejaculate, just stay hard. Like, your brain is overloaded. I'm thinking about doing the dishes. And did I put my laundry away? Like, fuck, did I do
Okay.
that?
Note to self, do not
Did not do
question
that.
what Tiffany's thinking about if, you're her
If you
partner. Sure.
I will say a trick, and this is something I've told people. If you start to mentally get checked out and you're just kind of like, you think about other things or stuff is just like not, I tell a lot of people to journal. I do. I tell a lot of people to journal stuff out before you have fun time, because sometimes if your brain is so overstimulated with everything that's going on, you need to clear it. And sometimes writing it down will help clear it. So that's why I give a lot of advice to my clients.
She gets her advice from me, and then she gives it to other people, just so you guys know. You're welcome. Tiffany Tiffany, do you think environment plays a role?
Huge, huge with environment. So when we're looking at environmental things, right? A lot of times people will think like, oh, the oxygen outside or the sun. So environment means, are you sleeping enough? Right? Are you getting the adequate amount of sleep that you need every night? Or are you someone that's over caffeinated, only sleeping 4 hours? This can play a lot into it right away, right? Then you've got stress. Are you keeping your stress at a minimum level? Or are you overstressed all the time that your anxiety kicks in and now you're just like frantically, constantly thinking about the same crap all the time? That will make a man have a really hard time getting an erection.
Mhm.
The other one is definitely smoking and alcohol. Those two play a huge factor. And I know there's a ton of research right now that's going out about like nicotine and the benefits that it has on certain things. But when it comes to nicotine with smoking, it's different because all the other toxins that you're adding in with a cigarette are actually what's affecting you, not so much the nicotine. It's affecting you with the other chemicals that are added. Alcohol is a number one suppressant. And I know a lot of people are like, no, I could get like full drunk on Jack and just go for hours, right? And I don't know about you, but I've met a couple in my life and they were fun once. Yeah, I don't want to do that for hours. I'd like to go to bed.
And they're one of the few. Same
Right.
thing for smoking marijuana. I know that
hmm
there's a lot of people that do that, right?
Yeah,
Um,
excessive of marijuana usage
yeah.
can actually hurt
And
it.
again, if
Mhm.
they're not, it's a dime a dozen that
Oh yeah.
like that's actually working. So congratulations to you if you're one of those people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Weight gain is
I
the other one. Weight
yeah,
gain is another environmental thing. So you have to look at your environmental stuff first. Start
yeah.
there and
And
see if
how are you
anything's popping.
handling stress, guys? Like I
Mhm.
know girls, like, we're very stressed. Females are very stressed sometimes
Mhm.
because, especially if you have kids, there's just a lot
Mhm.
going on, or we're trying to balance a lot of things. Single mom status too. But for men, there's a lot. There's a lot of responsibility, especially if they're family, to take care of
Mhm.
everything. So us women, we're always doing stuff for ourselves, right? Hair,
Mhm.
nails. I mean, not always, but we hope to, or massages or girl time or whatever. So it's really important that guys have that outlet as well. Make sure,
Oh yeah.
that you're taking care of that to help
Mhm.
stress go down, to help you sleep. So
And I tell a lot of people actually go to the gym. Gym is a great stress reliever because when
100%.
you work out, you're releasing endorphins, you're releasing testosterone, you're producing testosterone as well. For women, we're helping producing our testosterone and our estrogen to keep it at certain hormone levels. So the gym is actually really a good thing. It's a great outlet. Put some earbuds in and just go lift a bunch of weight, right? Or run on the treadmill for 5 minutes. I don't do that at all. I don't. Mm-mm. I can't do the treadmill. I get bored. 'Cause then my brain starts thinking of shit I need to do.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, things that can help. Like, obviously testosterone.
Mhm.
Um, and be careful with testosterone because I know someone that has actually went to get testosterone care
Yeah.
and had their tests done. And Tiffany, you can kind of give me the numbers on this, but
Mhm.
what's the normal range for testosterone?
So normal range for testosterone is between 450 and 600. If you are under 350 on your testosterone, you're actually someone that needs testosterone. So normal average range is 400 to 450 to 600
Yeah. And so
on
this
your blood
person,
work.
yeah. Tiffany and I have done our research, so we've been talking to males too, and just kind of getting their input. And someone that I had spoken to said that they went to the doctor and their testosterone level was 100 on the
Yeah.
dot, and they still would not let them qualify to get testosterone because of that. And oh, you're at 100, it's not that low. Yeah, not when the normal range is up there above 300. So don't just stop there. If you go to your doctor and they're trying to, insurance isn't going to cover this type
Mhm.
thing, go to an outside source because again, it's going back to your mental well-being. You don't want
Mhm.
to have a low quality of life for yourself in terms of sexual health.
Right. And for me, I tell a lot of my clients testosterone isn't like the number one thing to go to first. I tell a lot of people that, like, as
Huh.
soon as I hear a man be like, "Oh, I have a hard time getting up," and their immediate reaction is, "I'm gonna go to the doctor and get testosterone," and I'm like, "That okay, just because you add testosterone actually can do a couple different things in the body, right? If you give yourself too much testosterone, what do you think it does to you? It actually makes you an angry person, and it
Yeah.
brings you
You
to a high
kinda get
level that
real.
yeah,
Yes.
you're irritable, you're angry, you start fights for no reason, you're anxious a lot, and it starts to deform a lot of anxiety for men that have too high of testosterone. So if you ever notice that person that's really, really his fucking testosterone is high. You need to calm down, champ. Calm it down. But
Well, and if
I
you're
also
already an angry person and
yeah,
you're
and then you go get testosterones.
you're gonna be a raging bull and nobody's gonna wanna be around you. And then
No.
and then your girl's not gonna wanna have sex with you anyways.
No, because you're
I wouldn't.
nasty. So, a couple other things that I recommend a client to try out to start out, right? So, if you start to notice that you're having a problem with ED and you're just like, there's an issue, we need to find something else. Okay. So, a couple things you can do creams. There are creams on the market. I personally do sell creams. One of the creams that I have is called Up All Night, and it is a prolonging cream. I actually have two different types, a prolonging cream and an Up All Night cream. Both of them are pretty much the same. Not all creams are equal, right? You want to make sure you really read your ingredients to make sure that you don't have any kind of problems with the counteracting of the ingredients. But the cream is designed to help make you last longer. And it's not supposed to be like pump it all on and just like lather that thing so it's like, nah, it's not supposed to be like that. It's
We
supposed
don't
to
wanna
be
feel that
about
anyways.
yeah, don't like over lather it.
Bring
It's
that
supposed
over
to be
here.
about a nickel size amount in your hand. You're going to divide that into two. You're going to take half of it and you're going to place that onto the testicles, right? Or our boys, is what they call them. Put them onto the testicles. And then the other half, you're going to put right on that main vein coming straight up and kind of rub it around the penis. The reason why you use this cream is by the end of that bottle or whatever cream that you get, you should start lasting on your own naturally. So remember we talked about the environment stuff, right? So environment stuff, this is where the cream can come in and help. If you're not getting that sleep, you're not going to the gym, you're still stressed out, you're overworking, you're not eating properly, the cream can help with that. It might not be your testosterone. The other thing I recommend is C-rings. I don't know about you guys, but if you guys do not have a C-ring in your collection, you guys are missing out. There's so many benefits to a C-ring, not even just for ED.
You
So
ever had sex with somebody with that on?
yes,
How's it feel?
I've had sex that somebody has shown up to the party with it already on. I was like, "Ooh, you preparer, you." He
Oh,
took
shit.
the short bus too, but it was very interesting. Um,
Well,
so a C ring
she was
does a
in
couple different things. Huh?
a short bus.
Yeah, it was short. That's
It's
why I had a
kinda
C ring on.
short
It was like, "Mwah." Anywho, easy blowjob. I'm telling you guys, the little guys. If you got little guys out there in your life, love them. Okay, no more
bus.
lock and jaw.
She
Okay,
just looked
segment
at
off.
it was over. She said,
I was like, done. Best blowjob of my life. I'm a trained professional. Um, so C rings come in two different styles. You can get where it's just the ring that literally goes over and all the way to the base of the penis, right? And it has no vibration. It just sits there. The purpose of a C ring is it's a constriction ring, right? So it's going to do a nice tight schnight. tight snug on his penis, it will help bring more blood flow to the tip of his penis, to the front of it. It will make it girthier, but it's not going to make it longer. So don't think you're going to go get a C-ring and be like, he's going to be like a foot long. No, he's going to be like this.
Okay, so I have a question about that though.
Yeah.
Is there like any reviews from men on that? Can you know how like some guys are like, "Oh, I don't like to wear a condom because I can't come." Is it something like that to
Okay.
where it chokes the chicken and like there's no feeling because the top is going dead?
It's all purple.
Hello?
Okay, so C-rings are different. They are like just like creams, right? They're made by a variety of companies. And some companies are really good and hit C-rings on the point every single time. And
Yeah.
other companies kind of make cheap ones. So here's what I'll say. Whatever you pay for your C-ring, that's what you're getting.
Get
So
what you
if
pay.
you yeah, if you get a lower quality paying C-ring, it's probably going to put it on him and snap. And all C-rings will expand. Okay. I always make the joke when I do my like at home fun parties, like when I show a C-ring, I'm like, if he can't fit, as my face is like going through it, I'm like, send me a picture. Please do not send me any D pictures. I do not need them. This is not soliciting to dick pics, but I'm just saying.
No,
Um, no, don't send them because I'm going to
don't
send
do
them
it.
to her.
No. And then my husband's gonna get real mad. Don't do it.
And then Brian's gonna be sitting with us on the next meeting. He's gonna be
I
like,
mean,
"This is a disclaimer."
unless you want to pay us to rate it or something like that, then you
Yeah,
know.
oh, yeah, that'll be funny. I'll be like, "Ooh, that's a 2. We haven't talked about shaving." That's what we should have talked about.
We're trying to
So
build you up, though. We're trying to build you up.
yeah. So with a C-ring, you can get the one that's just like a standard ring, right? So you want to make sure that you can fill it before you buy it. You want one that has a good stretch, a good give on it. And there are C-ring trainers where they're like 3 different sizes in like a pack, and those are to train. So you actually start with the biggest one first, and that's just to get used to having a C-ring, and then you go to the medium, and then you go to the small. And I have some men that have put all 3 on
Dang.
because they've built themselves up to be able to using C-rings, and it helps with ED problems, but it also helps them last a little bit longer, So this C-rings aren't just for the ED guy. It could be the one pump chump. And you know what I'm talking about. Like he puts one pump in it and, he's like, and you're like, I it takes me 12 minutes. You like 3 seconds. So then the other C-ring is the one that vibrates. So
Okay.
C-rings that vibrate can do a couple different things. One, it's still giving you that constriction, right? But the other thing it does is it vibrates. So if you have a female partner, as you're going in and out of her, you're teasing her right on her clitoris every single time. So this is a great one to do. It's even fun, like if she's on top, you can put it in reverse cowgirl, put the vibration towards the testicles, and then she can literally do reverse cowgirl, and she's just like grinding right on that vibration every time. Easy orgasm. Guys, I'm giving you tips, okay? Easy orgasm. But make sure you use lubrication. Please do not grab any kind of C-ring and be like, and like snap that thing on. It's gonna snap like a rubber band. You're gonna cry. And then you're gonna be like, I'm never touching that purple thing again. Like,
Broken.
yeah. So C-rings are a really good addition. Positions. Have you ever tried a C-ring, Jay?
No.
You've never had it in all of
That's
your
why
dating life? I'm
listen.
sending toys. I'm getting a package tomorrow. So if you guys can tell that Jay and I are in 2 different places right now. So when we come together, we do a video always together, but we do live in 2 different locations. So this
Sometimes
is how
we'll
we
be recorded like this.
yeah, quite a
Yeah.
bit. We might even switch locations next time. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe top
Spit
and
my
bottom scissor. We're side scissoring right now. So positions. Positions are another one that can help with your ED. A lot of times positions might not be so much of you on top. It also could be hand placements. Sometimes being able to, when you're standing in an upward position and your partner's laying down, having your hand as a tight C-ring around it. Because now you can help with holding it and applying, right? Other things, take breaks. I say this a lot. Take breaks when you're with your partner. Take a break, allow your partner maybe to stimulate you. Maybe you're someone that loves head, and head, you know that if your partner gives you oral, you're like stiff as a rock. So maybe when you start to feel it going down, stop and ask your partner if she can give you a little bit of head. This will allow you to reposition and get you strong again, and then have her go on top. Or
Mhm.
have you go into doggy style, or that position that'll help you kind of extend and make your sexual fun time.
Yeah, you gotta get creative for sure, and,
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
really, like, might be a game changer for your sex life. You're gonna become more
Mhm.
creative, or, it's definitely something that you're not gonna be able to just be like, "Oh, okay, like, we used to be able to make out and just do missionary style, and it was great," but, like, just like with anything in life, especially if you're married, you gotta get creative.
Mhm.
And, that's one thing that's really important is communication between you and your partner is and any partner, whether it's a new partner, but obviously if you're with someone for a while, whether it's a dating relationship or marriage, having that open communication and knowing that you can
Mhm.
talk to your partner about this because it takes two to tango, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So you
And
have
that
to talk.
actually brings us into the next question. So, one of the other bedroom helpful things is communication, right? So, Jay, how does talking to your partner help?
Well, I think it's really important for the man to understand that the burden is not entirely on him, and
Mhm.
a good partner would understand that, and try to and understand that, okay, this isn't it isn't about me. It isn't because
Mhm.
my vag is a little loose or whatever, or he's not attracted to me anymore. it's
The Grand Canyon.
So, like, being open to be like, "Okay, this isn't his burden alone. Let's get creative in bed. Let's go get your testosterone checked. Let's get some toys in the bedroom." Like, being able to have that open communication because as Tiff mentioned earlier, it is very shunned to, like, be like, "Oh, we're not gonna talk about either sex or
Mhm.
just especially if there's a problem in the bedroom." So, a woman can help.
For
But I think
sure.
it's just patience is a big key. It's
Mhm.
you don't have to rush to this solution. Let's try this first and then let's move on
Right.
to this second. And what works for one guy and relationship is not going to work for everybody. So,
Right.
um, I think that it's important for women to approach it very lightly because
Mhm.
you might go into it thinking, okay, well, this one thing is going to help fix it. It worked for my best friend's husband and her, that it should work for us, and then it
Mm.
doesn't, and then the woman gets even more disappointed, and she might actually take it out on the guy, and then the guy is here we go in this vicious cycle of mental health again, just feeling that shame and the blame is on him, and then, depression, and then, I mean, it could lead to major relationship issues. So patience is key, just
But
assuring him that you're there,
and you know what I would say that a lot of times I think women we communicate a little bit more to our girlfriends about sexual problems.
Yeah.
I would say that women are way more vulgar and will say, like, he put it in this hole this long. This is how big he is compared to men. Men are a little bit more discreet when they talk about things. And it's more like, yeah, I hit it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, yeah, she had the big
Me
old
too.
titties and they were like
Yeah.
saggy and in her armpits. Like, he didn't say any of that.
So how can yeah. Like
Do you see what I'm saying though? I think
Yes,
women will talk about it with our other female friends compared to
yes.
actually talking with it to our male partners,
Yeah. And I think
right?
it's because, like, women can be completely transparent too, right?
Mhm,
Where they can be like, "Oh, I'm so frustrated because of da 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 da." Where I mean, it is good that they're able to talk to their female friends about it because you don't want the man to feel that, right? Like
yeah,
that kind of pressure. When it's just like relieving, some anger
mhm,
or whatever to your
mhm,
girlfriend and then going and addressing it patiently and calmly with your man. So
yeah,
I think it's, that is good that you should go talk to your other girlfriends about it because
mhm,
surprised maybe they're dealing with something similar, especially if they're in a
right,
long-term relationship or
and
dealt with somebody that has, but
definitely don't use every technique that your friends tell you
yeah.
because a lot of things. I don't think people realize this, that there's a lot that goes into ED that causes it. It could be, like we said, environment, and it could be more of a medical thing. And
Yeah,
so if your friend is just having their husband only sleeps 3 hours and he smokes a 14 pack of cigarettes a week, right? But he puts a C ring on, he's good. Whereas your husband, who has maybe gained 120 pounds in 5 years and has a sleep apnea machine and he's in heart failure, putting a C ring on him ain't gonna do nothing, you know?
yeah,
So you don't really, I mean, you wanna listen to your friends to an extent and kind of get some ideas, but don't be
yeah,
afraid to take those ideas back to your partner, right? So what are other things outside the bedroom that could kind of help with this besides bedroom stuff?
yeah. Getting counseling is important.
Mhm.
Uh, I will say that military men, especially if they've served overseas and seen some bad stuff, there's a lot of trauma. And maybe they were even raised around a very traumatic childhood life.
Mhm.
And they're going to take that into their life. And maybe in their 20s, it was fine because the testosterone was flying. But as they hit their
Mhm.
30s, even, it's going to affect them. So I know that there's a big statistic on men in the military that struggle with that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Um,
Huge. Huge.
yeah. So, there is a lot of that. So, Tiff mentioned journaling, and that is good. Journaling is important. I think going to see a counselor aside from seeing a medical doctor, because you do want to rule out anything medical that could be happening.
Right.
Even the smallest things like enlarged prostates or whatever that can affect things like that. So, ruling out all that stuff, you might be able to get a quick fix and be like, "Oh, okay, I'm back to normal." But if not, then, we really gotta get to the bottom of, like, what is stopping you, that mental blockage. So, definitely,
So, side note, because you don't know I'm going to ask you this, but why are men so nervous and so pushy from not getting counseling? Why do they not want to see a counselor? What
'cause
what is that?
yeah, it makes them look weak, you
Mhm.
know? And going back to the whole military thing, especially military men, like, they could have had their arm blown off and been like, "Okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna go back." You see movies and on
Mhm.
true stories of these men who are like, these, especially, like, if you watch World War II movies or Vietnam movies where these men went to war and they came back and they're like, "Are should we clear this guy?" And it's like, "Yep, I'm completely fine," when really, like, he could go home and kill himself, you know? So, I think it's really important that men understand that, like, it is okay to
Mhm.
go and vent, and no one needs to know that you're seeing a counselor. I mean, you can
No.
keep that between you and your wife or your partner, or if you're not and you're just dating, it's super important to go and get that taken care of. I mean, even as a counselor, I'm seeing a counselor,
Oh, you
so
got a
I'm seeing
couple.
counselors. I've got multiple. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dang, multiple personalities. Which ones go?
And I know I'm a female, so it's very different, but I think men just it's kind of associated with ED. It's
Mhm.
embarrassing. They feel
Right.
shameful. Why do I have to go? Women
Mhm.
are the emotional ones. Well, yeah, we are, but you guys still feel emotion. You
Yeah.
still feel anger, blame, shame, grief,
Mhm.
hostile anger. You feel all these feelings. You have to be able to compartmentalize it and put it somewhere the way that women do. Otherwise,
Mhm. Well,
the
and I
dick's
think
not
too,
gonna get up.
I think men are just not taught. Like
They're
even if they
not.
weren't military, they're always taught like don't cry. You can't cry.
Or
Don't let anyone see your emotions, right? And because at the end of the day, when anybody sees your emotions, even me, I feel it as a weakness. So I don't like crying in front of people and I don't
I
like
like
telling.
it.
It's
I
the
cry all
nastiest
the time.
cry. It's like, it's like the
I'm a
worst cry.
crier. Yes, Tiffany will get upset and cry, and then she'll be like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, why are you saying you're sorry?" So she's
It's
like,
just
"I'm
to me,
weak."
it's a sign of weakness. I don't want anybody. Maybe I'm a man, but I don't have a penis. That's the problem. I got boobies and a vagina, but I totally act like a man. I ride motorcycles. I fix things. There's something wrong with me. But do you
She's
see
the
what I'm
man in our relationship.
I am. I am. I need a very strong man when that comes into my life.
Yeah.
He needs to be very alpha for me. But I think it is that, you're taught not to express those emotions. And I will say as a mom, like when my son was was younger and he, like, before he was diagnosed with his, learning disabilities and stuff, he would like fall and I'd be like, "You're fine, just rub some dirt on it." Cause I thought that was the way that we would teach our boy is to be stronger, is don't cry, don't show emotion. Whereas now, like, if something happens, he cries and I'm like, "Okay, take a breath." I'm like, let's talk this out so that we can understand what's going on. And I think that's why men are like so brained here of don't cry, it's a sign of weakness, and don't go to a counselor, like you never tell anybody stuff about you.
Yeah. Yeah, and same thing with sex sometimes too. I mean, there
Mhm.
are mothers that shun their sons
Mhm.
for masturbating or,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I'm a mother of 3 boys. That's what we talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talk that's all fair game, sex
Mhm.
and masturbation and, you know,
I think we
all
learn
things
too
penis
much.
and poop and farting, like, that's a male thing, and it should be natural because if
Mhm.
you tell them to shut it off and it's not okay and
Yeah.
it's not it's, you shouldn't be talking that way, you shouldn't touch yourself, you shouldn't why? Because then you're gonna give them a complex and they're gonna go into their adulthood and be completely mentally messed up. So
Correct.
mothers of boys, you have to let them be boys,
Yeah.
especially if there's not a male in the house. I mean, if you're separated
Mhm.
from your husband or something like that, you know this, and I know this because I
Yeah.
raised my
Mhm.
boys alone until I met my husband. But
Yeah.
you gotta let them feel the feelings and talk about things and
Yeah. And men, I don't want you guys to feel ashamed for going to a counselor. Like, I don't think you guys realize, like, in a counseling session, it's just you and the counselor. There's nobody else in that room. And it is a private, confidential.
yeah,
This isn't like, you don't
yep,
think that your ex wife or your girlfriend can call, like, say you were seeing Jay as your therapist, right? Can call Jay and be like, "Well, what did Tom talk about today?"
mhm,
Well, she's not gonna say anything. First of all, she's gonna hang up on her because it's a HIPAA violation. So
yep,
that's the nice thing is about going and expressing yourself to a therapist who, one, never judges you.
mhm,
Two, they help you figure out ways of communication and how to hit those scenarios that you're having problems with. And it could be conflict at work.
yeah,
It doesn't even have to be about your relationship,
adds
right?
to that stress, yep.
Mhm. Yeah. So definitely look at that. And one thing that we haven't hit on that I think we need to talk about is masturbation with ED. So over
Don't do it.
masturbating can
Yeah,
actually cause you to have ED.
yeah,
So this is a new statistic that came out. It's actually in Nebraska University has been doing some research on it. So there is a recommendation that men should have between 21 and 30 orgasms every single month. And that's to help their prostate. That's all for prostate health. So your prostate basically is closed. Give you like a skim health version right now, okay? Prostate is closed. When you get excited, your prostate opens. As you get ready to have an ejaculation where you're going to finish, your prostate slams shut, which is what produces the flow to allow you to have an orgasm. So it's that muscle of opening up and down. And that's why having an orgasm every day or masturbation is good. But masturbating too much and to unrealistic things. So we didn't really get to talk about that. And we're just going to take a second to talk about this, but let's talk about porn. So, porn is a huge blocker when it comes to ED because it is unrealistic. And I'm going to say this, and I know tons of porn stars that will back me on this.
mhm,
Porn is unrealistic. Porn is a fantasy. You are not going to find a girl that's going to hawk a loogie from a mile away and land it on your penis and then run and jump on it and bounce like she's in her 10, 15, 20-year olds. Okay. We don't do that. We are old. We have bad knees now. But do you see what I'm saying? Like watching porn is unrealistic. And that in therapy, I believe you guys talk about that in therapy too with men in regards to hypersexuality with porn, right?
yeah. I mean, it is an addiction, so,
Hmm.
and when we're talking about that kind of stuff, it can be, but a lot of partners will think that it'll help, like, "Oh, okay, well, that'll get him stimulated,"
Hmm.
You definitely need to do things, but that is not one of them.
Right.
Masturbating is another,
Yeah.
I know that there's certain things that work for one person versus the other, so,
Mhm.
like, since we're on the subject of it, but, like,
Yeah.
let's say you take Viagra and then, you wait an hour and you're like, "Oh, okay, I think I'm feeling okay," and then you start to get involved and then it, melts again.
Yep.
But, it could be that you ate dinner and then you took the pill and then you
Mhm.
waited an hour and your stomach's still feeling heavy, right? You even if you didn't have to take Viagra, trying to have sex on full stomachs, it doesn't
Yeah.
really feel
No.
well, not for
No.
the women either, right? So,
Yeah.
little to no meal is probably good, maybe like a
Yeah.
half a protein shake and take it if you need something in your stomach, but let that
Mhm.
medicine fricking kick in with not a full stomach. So,
Yeah.
pay attention to those things. Eating,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take her out to a nice dinner and then we're gonna no. How about frisky time before? And that's the thing with ED is you kinda have to plan. And
Mhm.
it might be frustrating, but it's a way of life to make sure that you're getting that good sexual quality of life, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
watching what you're eating. And Tiff, if you wanna elaborate on are there things that we should be eating?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So go back to really fast to masturbation really fast. So with masturbating, I tell a lot of people switch your masturbation style up. So if you're watching porn because you love porn, nothing wrong with that, right? Put porn on mute. So now you're watching it, but you can't hear it because now you have to use your actual brain and think of what would it sound like. Other ways to do it, turn
Smart.
masturbation on and turn the TV away from you so you only hear it. That's
Turn the
another way of
masturbation on.
yeah, well, sometimes porn on, sorry. You don't know which
I'm
hand
like,
you're gonna use. Pinch hitter.
Turn the masturbation on.
Like circle jerk. Other ways that you can do with masturbating is reading a book. Sometimes reading those spicy books. I know women love them. They are great for men too, but even an audiobook or reading it is another way. So
Mhm.
when you think of masturbation and you're like, I need something to use, you need to be using your brain a lot more because if you're watching too much porn and you're fantasizing about what you see on that content, say you're that MILF person, right? You're like, I have to watch hot MILFs. And then you get your wife who is a brunette, but the one that you're masturbating to is a blonde. You're infatuated with a blonde, but you have a brunette at home. So that's going to
Yeah.
cause ED problems as well. So that's why you want to change up your masturbation style.
There's a
So
Sex and
food.
the City episode that is
Yeah.
like that, where he has to, like, watch porn while he's having sex with Miranda, and she's like, "Alright, enough," but then he couldn't get it up. He was,
Yeah.
like, too dependent
And
upon it,
and
so
I don't think men realize that. Like you
yeah.
porn is a huge
Addiction.
addiction. And
Yeah.
that's why you have to change it up. And the other thing I tell women to do on that end is it's okay to watch porn together. It's okay to watch it as a female by yourself. Women, you can watch porn. I feel like you have to give permission to women because women when they hear like women watch porn like they're dirty. It's not a sin. Women, you can watch porn. It's okay to watch porn to help with fantasy. Even though yeah, our brain can do it, we can read about it, right? But it's okay to watch. But for women with your partners, send him spicy photos. That's a great way of being able to bring that connection back. Instead of him being able to look at it somewhere else, now you're doing it, Titty Tuesday. Every Tuesday, send a titty picture. Be like, Happy Tuesday. Hope you
Like
have a good day. Right?
yeah.
Thursdays, Wednesday could be hump day. Send him a picture in your underwear. It don't even have to be naked. You can put your granny panties on, okay? That man will love it. He'll be like, I got an ass shot. Right? So you want
Okay.
to be able to do spicy with him separately so that it helps with kind of transitioning them together, especially if your partner travels. But
Yeah.
food. So let's talk about food, right? So there's tons of food that you can totally use to help naturally boost your testosterone and help with getting your arousal kind of going for eating. So beets are a really good source of testosterone booster. They actually help you. Leafy greens are even another one that's amazing. Cabbage. Using that leafy green with a cabbage, definitely good. Nuts and fatty fish. So something like salmon. Salmon is really good when it comes to helping boost natural testosterone. And then any kind of zinc rich like oysters. So anything that has like a lot of strong zinc in it is going to help with
Got it.
boosting it.
It's an
So
aphrodisiac too.
yeah, so oysters are really good too with helping with ED.
Yeah.
Um, Jay, who are some healthcare professionals that would actually help with diagnosing a patient with ED? I mean, we can talk about it, right? And a guy can self diagnose, but who could they
Yeah.
go to?
They could go to any especially if they have insurance, just go to any mental health professional, it could be more specifically a therapist or a counselor who's gonna talk about it,
Mhm.
and there's so many online things too. So if you're feeling like I don't want to show up at an office, I'd rather do it, face to face on a screen.
Mhm.
Um, Zoom has, definitely come a long way, especially since COVID. So you can sit, I think there's like something called Good Help or whatever, Better
Mhm.
Help, something like that. But
Hims.
they're hymns.
Hims.com, HIM.com, and then there's her, HER. So there's
Oh,
2
I know.
different, yeah, they're online sources that are really, really good for, helping that too virtually.
Oh, I didn't know that they did mental health.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I know that they do pills, guys, but don't go
Mhm.
there for your testosterone. Go see somebody to make sure you actually have a testosterone
Mhm.
issue. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of online stuff too. So you have options, but don't go to a psychiatrist. They can prescribe medication, mental medication. You don't need stuff for depression or anxiety. In fact, those might hinder you being able to get back to
Yeah.
good health, good standing. So
Yes.
let's just make sure that, you go see someone that you can actually talk to get to the bottom of like why this is happening. If you're suppressing any kind of emotional trauma from anywhere that they
Right.
can help get out and then give you the tips to be able to have these that kind of communication with your partner.
Mhm.
Um, Unless you think it is something that you want to bring into your marriage, then seeing a family therapist, a marriage and family therapist, someone who specializes in that, not to go because you guys have issues. And again, they do it on Zoom, but being able to actually talk to
Mhm.
someone else to kind of be that third party of being like, let's kind of break out of like this shame and like feeling nervous about talking
Mhm.
about it. The therapist can actually bring it up. So
Yeah.
there are sex therapists.
Mhm.
They're few and far between, but you can find them.
Mhm.
Um, but mainly just, look at your insurance. There are out of pocket people too. If you don't
Yeah.
have insurance that will do cash payments and it's worth it. Any
Mhm.
kind of money that you're gonna put into your health,
Mhm.
including sexual health, is worth it. You're gonna go and spend $8 on a Starbucks every freaking day of the week. Put
Mhm.
that money towards educating yourself and
Yeah.
your relationship and your mental health and your physical health.
Mhm. Yeah, and remember too, like after you guys see a counselor and maybe they have worked with you on like trauma issues, starting from like the root of what could be causing the ED, and you're still having issues, you could definitely go see your primary care physician. You could see
Yeah.
a urologist who is made for your penis. Okay, but you could go see
And
them,
your
and
prostate.
the what?
And their prostate and all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, so you can see those actual doctors too, but sometimes even just starting with a counselor, kind of like Jay, and just having those conversations will actually open it up a lot more. And if you're still having the issues, then I'd be like, let's go to actual doctor and go get some blood work done and kind of see what's going on from there. So
Yeah.
what are some tips for men and women to do after they have been diagnosed? So let's say the man went and got diagnosed and he officially probably really has ED. So what are some things that he could probably do now? Like what should he do now? And how can a female support her partner that has those problems?
Yeah. Um, we kind of talked about what the female can do,
Mhm.
just kind of being patient and not
Mhm.
kind of being, but being patient, being understanding, reassuring him that it's not his burden to carry, it's theirs to carry. And then just totally flip the script on like what can we do to plan our sexual
Mhm.
encounters. And
Yeah.
after a while you won't have to plan it. I think
Mhm.
that I think my parents used to have sex like on Sundays or something like that. And I don't know if my father had those issues. I don't want to know if he had those issues, but you don't have to be like, okay, we're going to do it on Sunday. Like it
Mhm.
doesn't need to be so specific, but it needs to be
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm feeling frisky. How about you? Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna put on this naughty lingerie, just like I would, or maybe send
Mhm.
him a picture, and then he's got a Viagra in his pocket
Mhm.
or something like that to where he's like, all right, I know I'm gonna take this on my way home from work.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that way when I get to her and I didn't eat lunch today or I'm gonna skip lunch today, so that way I'm gonna take it and then we'll eat afterwards. And then I'm gonna get home and she's already in her lingerie
Mhm.
and we're gonna, get busy with it. But, you know, Tiff could give you, she's given you toys to try to bring into the room. There's that
Mhm.
as well. There's, just ways of doing it, but don't get like stuck in a pattern of like,
Mhm.
this is what I have to do every single time.
Yeah.
Maybe this time that worked. The next time it
Mhm.
doesn't, let's flip it. We're gonna do some role playing with each other, whatever. You have to
Mhm.
get, like, super creative,
Oh, yeah.
um, and
100% on that.
just to keep the excitement in there, And again, women, so, so important. Do not internalize it. It is not your problem. He's gonna have this problem with everybody. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter whether it's you. He's gotta do this, but it's gonna take both of you to make it work, and the communication that you guys have together on this is gonna be awesome.
Oh, yeah. 100%, and that's what I think, you have to communicate, because
Yeah.
like, so you're married, right? So you and your husband, if you guys had this problem, would have this conversation and have these communication skills on how to get better. Me as a single girl, right? I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna know until that first surprise, that's what I call it, when you
Yeah.
open the package and you're like, "Oh, it's a good size." Thank you, right? Or you get the ones that's like this and you're like, "Ah, easy blowjob. Perfect, okay." But I'm not gonna know as a single woman. So as a single woman, I would say that, if I encounter it the first time I'm with that person intimately, to be like, I'm not gonna make it a big deal, right? I'm not gonna look at him and be like, "Oh, you can't get this dick up. You suck." Right? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
Yep.
do that. I'm gonna be more like, "It's okay, it's understandable. We can do a couple different things." Like,
Yeah.
I'll just sit back.
Again, going back to
Mhm.
reassuring. And
Yeah,
it
that's what I'm
the
saying.
into a relationship. It's just,
Mhm.
and I think that, it's hard for men especially. It's gonna make them not want to,
Yeah.
jump into new relationships or maybe jump from relationship to relationship, which is so bad in the dating world right now. That's gonna be a topic of ours as well. But we're gonna live vicariously through Tiffany. But, I mean, these guys will bounce from girl to girl because maybe they can get it going one
Yeah,
time, but then they're like, "Okay, I'm just gonna keep this newness up," but how much better would it be to just find somebody that you really like, that you can communicate with, and have the best sex with
yeah.
because you
Why?
communicate that? Sex is so much more than just sticking it in a hole, guys.
Yeah, and I would say too, with when it comes to ED, I have a lot of male clients that are just like, "I'm just not gonna have sex anymore. My sex life is over and done with." And I'm like, that is not how it has to be. Like, just because you get diagnosed by a medical professional that you have ED does not mean that your sex life is done. Like, there's still so many more things that you can do. We talked about Viagra, we talked about testosterone. One thing that I will say that I am not a big believer in and I do not recommend are going to be your gas store or gas station enhancement products like
Yes.
Rhino or the Spicy Fly or whatever shit is out there. First of all, you don't know what's in those products. So if you guys are grabbing those and just popping some pills, you have to remember that when a doctor gives you any kind of prescription, they have to look at what other prescriptions you're on because all of them have chemical reactions. And so you could actually end up putting yourself into a heart attack.
Yeah.
You could end up having liver dancer or kidney liver dancer. Nasty chance, liver damage. So that's why you want to make sure that you are talking to a medical professional who is prescribing you the right medication. And
Yeah.
if you don't like the medication, you don't have to continue it. Also, too, when we come to antidepressants, that's another one that I think a lot of people don't do. Like when your doc prescribes those, ask them, is this going to affect me? Is this going to make me not get an erection? Or for women, is this going to make me dry?
Mhm.
Because
Or
antidepressants.
not feel horny.
Right. So those are ones that they can even look at the different types of prescriptions and be like, okay, well, this is a less side effect of ED, or this one, yes, is more severe, but I can give you a prescription of Viagra. Right. So you want to definitely make sure that you're talking to your healthcare professional about your medication and don't just buy the gas station rhinos. I
Yeah,
kind of
because
want
we're
to try
talking
one as a
about
woman just
and
to try it.
Tiffany's gonna put herself on the chopping block and give herself a heart
I'm gonna
attack.
get a big old clitoris, and then I'm gonna have a heart attack, but I'll have, like, a thumb as a clitoris.
Gonna have this big old bean.
It's gonna be like a rock. You can, like, smack it.
Oh my god, yes, do not
So
go to that extent, and, it's really important that you guys get your testosterone checked in general or just,
mhm,
your heart checked out in general
mhm.
because taking that kind of stuff
Yes.
you don't wanna lose your life over it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. And there's so many more things. Like, let's just say you tried Viagra, you can't take Viagra because you're on a heart medication, right? A lot of heart medication patients cannot take Viagra because it counteracts. So let's say you take a medication, you can't have that. You've done all the environment things first, right? And you've tried changing your style of eating, you've lost weight, you are sleeping more, you're keeping your stress low, and things are still not working. Guys, there's pumps out there. Did you know that? That they can literally, it's a microsurgery, a little bit of a long surgery, but it's a surgery that they can literally put a balloon in and you can literally pump it and it stands at attention and then you push the button and it flattens. Okay, this is like, this is perfect.
that's like yes, if you have money to invest in that,
You know what
if you
I
got
call it? That's called a dick on the go. Because when he gets older and he can't get it up anymore and nothing's working, we are getting a dick on the go.
maybe that's what Hugh Hefner had.
Maybe that's how he had all the Playboy girls, a
Yeah.
dick on the go. I think it was the money, but right.
But there's other ways to enjoy sex too, you guys, like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it doesn't have to just be that, but like Tiffany
Mhm,
said, just stimulation a lot
mhm.
ahead of time,
Yeah.
you know?
And making sure that
So,
you're communicating. That's the biggest thing when it comes to sex is communication. And that,
yeah,
that's one of the reasons why we did this podcast, guys, because there is so much when it comes to mental health and so much when it comes to sexual health that they actually overlap each other a lot more than you think.
yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why we did the podcast was, you know what, we'll take both of our big old brains and put them together, especially because we already talk about this shit anyways.
We talk about stuff like this all the time, so, yeah, we were like, "We should do a podcast."
Let's
So,
just put it out
hopefully you
and see what
guys
people
enjoy
say.
it.
Hmm.
And keep like, don't forget to like and follow us, but send us questions in our chats too, because
Yeah.
we'd love to answer any questions that you have, if not on there or, bring it up in the next
Hmm.
podcast. And anything that you guys want us to talk about too, we can
Yeah.
kind of we've got a long list of things that we're gonna be
Yeah.
going through,
What's
but
our next one?
it was based off of Bridgerton, I think.
Yeah, I wrote it
Yeah.
down. It's a female orgasm.
Oh, it's the big O.
Big O. We're gonna talk about female orgasm. And trust me, we'll talk about male orgasms too, okay? We're gonna do a back and forth thing here.
Guys,
But
it's much easier for you than it is for us.
yes,
So,
we're like a easy bake oven. You gotta preheat us, or else that shit gonna be
back it
not
up, flip
good.
it, rub it down.
It'll be a nasty dancer. But yes, follow us. We have a TikTok account, we have a Instagram and a Facebook account, and then you can find full episodes just like this one on Spotify and YouTube. And eventually, we'll branch into other areas for that. But right now, this is where you're going to find your full episodes. So hopefully, you guys enjoyed today's ED conversation. And
Yeah.
like Jay said, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Other than that, I think we're good.
Yep.
You think we're good?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, then we'll say farewell and see
ED
you
out.
on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.